Rob Liefeld is back at Marvel and he's looking to make a major impact with his new character. What's up, everybody? I'm Stan and welcome to Detail Comics, where we go over comics in detail. This is an irate review, and today we're going to be talking about Major X #1, written and illustrated by Rob Liefeld. So while Rob Liefeld cut his teeth on early Marvel and DC titles, creating some of the more immortal characters like Deadpool, we get to see him come back to his natural environment and create a new mutant for a new day and age. But is it everything that we're going to be hoping for? Let's dive in and see what this story has to offer. Rob Liefeld returns to Marvel Comics with his latest character creation in the form of Major X, and we start off with a narrative. This Major X is recounting what's gone on as he's made his visit. He's found his way into Xavier's school. He's come toe-to-toe with Shatterstar and Domino, and now he's got his foot pressed against the head of Cable. And while he's saying that this is a great man, somebody that he's honored to do, he can only hope that his mission accomplishes the same thing that Cable's once did. It still puts him in conflict with the character. However, Major X isn't alone as Cable fights back finally. Then just punch after punch after punch through panels and panels. This conflict continues to wage on until he pulls out his katana and cuts off Cable's hand. He knows that it's only a matter of time before the techno-organic virus is going to give him a new hand, and he wishes that things could have happened a different way, but he just smacks him across the face, leaving him unconscious. And while he tries to come up with a strategy, we get more from Rob Liefeld as far as what the real history of Major X is. We're on X-Istance, this plane, this place that has allowed mutants to live in some sort of paradise for a period of time. The X-Istance, however you pronounce that, has been the one that has made X-Istance the haven, the sanctuary for mutant kind. But Major X has continued his patrols around these lands because the power has been fading. There's an increased frequency of issues because without X-Istance there wouldn't be any kind of existence for mutant kind. However, a call comes in from headquarters just about the same time that McCoy comes across Major X, and it seems like X-Istance is falling apart. So with Major X on his motorcycle, which actually has the ability to somehow transport or warp slide through X-Istance, Beast is now clinging, holding onto him, and as they dive into what can only be described as some sort of multiversal soup, he sees the screaming and dying of the friends of the world that he just left. But while Cable lays there almost unconscious, we also see another X-Man make his appearance, and that's Wolverine. So while this gray beast wants to help out, it seems like Major X is the only one suited for the job because his katana happens to be made from adamantium. So metal versus metal, they're going to be more than enough. But Cable, having recovered, shoots him in the back just in time for Dreadpool to arrive. So this is just Rob Liefeld going absolutely insane with this entire issue, introducing all these new characters, unveiling and then destroying this brand new location called X-Istance, and then finally Domino makes her appearance. Cannonball's there, but Dreadpool is there on behalf of his benefactors. He's going to turn this beast into a throw rug, and then Major X is finally going to get a crack at him, but just in time, this kind of weird warp bike that's sitting outside is now piloted by Deadpool, who jumps in and starts attacking Dreadpool on his own. The battle continues to be fought until Dreadpool decides to run away, leaving only Domino, Cable, the rest of X-Force, Deadpool, and Major X to finally reveal himself. And this leaves Alexander Nathaniel Summers, the son of Cable, standing in front of his father in the past, having to fight alongside the rest of these people. And it promises that next issue we're going to find out more about X-Ential, or whatever that is. So when I'm done with Major X issue #1, I feel a huge wave of nostalgia because the style is eerily reminiscent of 90s comic books, and that's where I really cut my teeth on comic book culture. However, I also feel that some portion of that should have been left in the past. You can tell that Rob Liefeld has a passion for these characters, and he's done a good job of putting them to page. However, the anatomy, the way that everything's been drawn, the way that the dynamics of the fight are really constructed, it doesn't necessarily jive with a more modern aesthetic that we're all really familiar with comic books. The panel layouts are also a little bit more chaotic, a little bit less structured and uneven compared to a lot of other things. The introduction of X-Istance, this place that was once supposed to be some sort of mutant utopia, it just looks like he's driving through this barren desert wasteland with rocks around him, and we spend approximately 4 or 5 pages just trying to get the backstory of why it's so important and why we're so worried about its downfall. We're just barely getting more information when all of a sudden it's gone, and then kind of crisp but uneven paneling is then replaced by this kind of chaotic edgework, which turns into the destruction of an entire universe of people that we don't necessarily even know anything about. It tends to make my brain hurt, and as we get to the last part of the issue and the rampant introduction of other characters like Wolverine, this Dreadpool character that just keeps mentioning beneficiaries, I can tell that Rob Liefeld has been studying up on the Ryan Reynolds school of Deadpooling because the dialogue seems to make a little bit more sense in that respect, but there are other points where it feels a little bit clunky cranky and forced, a bit stressed. But while Major X harkens back to an era where comic book creators were part of a superstar culture, it just feels a little bit lost in that particular age. For some people, this is going to be a welcome revisiting to days gone by, but for me, it seems like I'm going to be a little bit happier if I leave this in the past where it is and look forward to the future. But I want to know what you guys think, so hit me up in the comments down below and we can start that conversation. As always, if you like what you see, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to get more news, reviews, and commentary on comic books and more.